if you fat and or ugly and you don't want to be no more, maybe this tea can help you out. I mean, I ain't saying it's gonna cure it all, but it's a start. Now, if you fat and ugly and you content with it, then just skip this ad and go on to the video. But for those who want to make a change, take a stance and do something a little different, and at least aid their situation, drop down in the description box and click these links so it can help you. Bye. Ooh, baby, this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, just like the episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, it was just a little filler episode that didn't give a whole lot, but the little bit that it did give pissed me off, and that little bit is that damn Destiny. I just don't do her. Y'all want to talk about it? Oh, we gonna talk about it. Here you go. Now, so girl, did y'all get into this last episode of Huntsville? It came on over the weekend, and I was coming over the weekend on who, in who, and with who is none of your damn business. But I'm here. Happy Monday. I got to get in here and get off the line, because the bitch going down to the Rusty Pelican tonight on the bay and have a little dinner, because I'm fancy, bitch, and I'm eating real fancy every night for the rest of this month. And don't be mad. But what I am mad about is Kimmi finds herself stuck in the middle again. So the episode opens up with Kimmi and Mel having their argument. And Mel was like, and now that I think back at it, I don't even know how this came up. But Mel says, we were at an event and you made the comment that you really didn't care what he did, just as long as he didn't make you look no fool in the streets. Now, whether Tisha said it or not, I don't know, because I was not there. But I will say this. Much to Mel's credit, I have heard a whole lot of women in my lifetime say that. And quiet as it's kept, Mel, I feel like that was the arrangement that you probably were trying to have with Martell, but he just couldn't fulfill his end of the bargain. Nevertheless, I don't know if Tisha said it. I would not be surprised if she said it. I can see Tisha more so saying, listen, I don't know what that man do. It ain't come to me, so I'm not finna probe and ask about it. That feels like something Tisha said. If he is doing something out there, it ain't came to me. Not necessarily, I don't care, because bitch, I don't want vaginosis and trichomoniasis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, and any other reals. Sharia, Taria, none of them. I don't care if penicillin can cure it or not. I don't want it. I'm too old. Listen, bitch. If you beyond college, you too old to be going down to Planned Parenthood trying to get some goddamn penicillin and a shot in your ass because there's some unexplainable green fluid or something oozing out of any orifice of your... I'm telling you all my business. One thing about it though, I was in college and maybe a couple years afterwards and maybe a couple years after that again. But I turned 37 this week, and don't judge from my past because I don't stay there no more, bitch. I am beyond the age of getting STDs that end in Rhea or any other idiot or any of them. Okay? They kick Kimmi out the room, or Kimmi goes back to the party. And Tisha starts talking about, what she's got going on, and Mel starts laughing. And it's just so funny, right? Because this applies to them, the housewives girls, the married to medicine girls. It's just like, y'all kill me with the we want to move forward, and then y'all do passive aggressive shit. Like, to sit there and to laugh in that girl's face was to completely diminish everything she had going on. And it was another one of your nice, nasty ways of saying, like you said, oh, I got you out the house. You're like, basically, Mel was saying, I just find it so funny that last week your ass was a milkmaid and now you just this successful one. I find it funny. It's funny. It was rude. It was rude. It was rude as all fuck. And I'm glad, though, that Tisha was able to push through that, not give her any rudeness back in that moment, and that they both were able to apologize and somewhat see eye to eye in that meeting. Now, what was messed up and what we often lose sight of with these shows is when you have kids, ooh, my bike hurt. When you have kids that are of middle school or high school age, they can see things. And Tisha brought up the point that their son heard from a classmate or whomever about their daddy having 20 girlfriends. Here's the thing that's problematic for me. I remember being his age. He looks like he's growing a mustache, so he's probably got to be 12, 13, somewhere in that age bracket. And there wasn't shit that after I knew my parents could unravel. Okay, I was very smart, and I was smart enough to know the behaviors of older people and know when they were lying to me and when they were trying to get me to go along and get along. That little boy was not stupid. When Martell pulled him to the side and went over and said it was just something that I said, he was not stupid. These kids have phones. These kids probably get extra popularity from their damn parents being on TV, so they probably watch the show. I don't understand how you keep kids that age from not watching the damn show. So they've seen what's unfold. They see the confessionals. They see Martell going back, attempting to clean it up. They're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They're just, I guess they're just casualties of war of reality TV parents. But it was sad, and I almost think it probably would have been better to just have left it alone and then try to pull him to the side and say what it is you said to him. Mel and Martell in the office working, and Martell says that she needs to slow down and get a nanny. And Mel asks for Martell to facilitate the process. And Martell says, you know, he can't, that he's busy, and Mel says that she's busy. Rarely do I ever agree with Martell, but I agree with him 100% on the fact that we need to focus on the industry that's bringing us in money right now. He was like, you know, this is our primary bread and butter. I get Mel, she's planting seeds for the future, which also need to be planted so they can have continued success. And I get that as well. But the reality of the situation is you can't do none of that without this. So we got to pay attention. We got to continue to nurture this, because it is this that got us to that. And everything else that's out there, we got to pay attention to this first. As far as I'm facilitating a nanny, you know, it's no tea, no shade, Mel. I feel like you should do it because you're the one who majority of the nanny responsibilities fall in your wheelhouse. Thus, it's helping you. The nanny is more so alleviating work off of you and not Martell necessarily. So I feel like maybe you should facilitate the process. But I get it. It's hard when you're trying to grow as an entrepreneur because you do need staff. And I remember the day that I had to that I brought Oliver along. You know, it was a conflict of, do I have the money to pay this person? And how soon can I see a return? Because it takes money to make money, right? And it's like, okay, I got enough money to sustain me, but do I got enough money to sustain somebody else? But I need this somebody else for my damn business to grow. It's just like you're stuck in this dilemma of shuffling pieces and shuffling coins until you finally see a return. And that's kind of where the Holts are. They got to start, you know, spending a little money, cutting back a little on some certain things to make more money. And it's just a little awkward growth period. But here's what I want to talk about. Mel brings up the fact of, did Martell talk to Marsau and Tisha at the party? Marcel, you childish as fuck. How you gonna stand up here and say they came to a party and because it was y'all party, they should have spoke to you? And then Mel says, well, would you have spoke back? And then you admit that probably you wouldn't have spoke back. And then Mel says, well, Martell, they probably know that or sense that. So that's probably the reason that they did not speak. And you're like, so what? They should have spoke anyway. You arrogant piece of shit. What freaking planet does that work on? What freaking planet do you stand up and grab your nuts and say to the world, I'm not going to speak to them, but they should still speak to me, and legitimately be mad? First of all, you didn't do them a favor. At best, you should drop that attitude because it was your daughter that wanted their presence, their children there. So in all actuality, they were doing you and your daughter a favor, because I'm sure they could have took or left that damn party and they kids didn't even know your daughter was having a damn party. Your daughter asked for them to be there. You want somebody to kiss your ass? Like, you know, I'm all for folks kissing ass when you're supposed to do it, but you're going to have to fill me in as to why it is that you need your ass to be kissed. And here's the sad thing about these reality TV relationships, right? At this point, I'm not even sure why Martell and Marsau aren't even friends anymore. It started out with Marsau commenting and laughing about the side chick, Arian Curry. That's what it started out as. This thing has morphed into so many other different things. I I'm not even sure at this point why Martell and Marsau are not mad at each other. And this is why I always think it's a very bad idea for friends to get into the reality TV show business with one another. But that was some crazy shit. Kimmi talks to Maurice about Kiuwha moving to Huntsville and what the custody arrangement will look like. That conversation for me was a prime example of women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or however which way it goes. Because while I 100% agree with Maurice, as in like there's nothing to talk about. He's here, I'm a man, he's a man. The whole thing was a daddy supposed to be raising his son after a certain age. Kimmi was like, well, I just want you to understand it from Kiuwha's perspective. From Kiuwha's perspective, it was he needs to live with you because he needs his father's presence in his life and we're so far away. But now that I'm closer to you, can't he just stay with me and you be present? And Kimmi was trying to explain that as a mom, and it's so funny because just as a third party, as a bystander, I get it. But Maurice was so one-track mind with it. And it's funny because I commend Kimmi for trying to always express Kiuwha's perspective just as a mom. You know, Maurice, it was in poor taste to call her Kiuwha, Kiuwha with me, or however you called her. That was in very poor taste, especially considering just the tension between the two women, the narrative that's been put out there. You know, it just wasn't funny. And I love how Kimmi dug in and was like, don't do it again. Kimmi said, bitch, I ain't got no big bike. I got a small, petite, feminine, ladylike, Victoria's Secret angel kind of bike. I ain't got no linebacker bike. My back ain't built like no U-Haul. It ain't Ford tough. Like a rock, I'm as strong as I can be. Like a rock. See, you got to be old 80s, 90s, baby, to know about that old Ford tough commercial, Like a Rock. Honey, she ain't got no big bike. Let me, why am I just on a roll? First it was Wendy Osefo bike. Now it's Kiuwha bike. This lady gonna be mad at me and try to fight me in the grocery store. Oh, when I come to Huntsville and she moved there. Don't try to fight me, Kiuwha. I mean, the bike is big. The shoulders, now I'm up and sounding like Andrew Caldwell. The shoulders. I had a Haagen-Dazs bar, y'all, earlier. The little mini vanilla chocolate with the crunchies on it with the almonds. And y'all know how sugar makes me crazy. Tisha and Marcel in the office talking, and Destiny comes. Oh, well, sorry, then they bring up Miss Wanda. And she starts talking about how Mel and her talk to kids and parents are off limits, and how she needs to talk to her mom because her mom is causing confusion in her relationships. And Marcel was trying to help her reach that conclusion. And Tisha just did not want to give in to the fact that Marcel was like, you need to do something with your talking ass mama. But it looked like on the next episode that Miss Wanda gonna talk when we need her to do so. I'm gonna reserve, only because I saw that sneak preview for next week. I ain't even finna go in on Wanda J. Blige. I'm just gonna say, I'm missing you like crazy. Yes, because we didn't see her this episode. Hey, Wanda girl, tornadoes, F5 hurricanes, and all that going on up to the top. We see you. So Destiny gets to the office. Here's what I don't like, right? So let's just call a thing, and I'm gonna skip a little ahead. I always told y'all my biggest pet peeve is having my intelligence played on, right? And so Destiny is doing this thing that's getting on my nerves. It is beyond obvious and clear that Destiny is Mel's friend, and they're close friends. That being said, we know that before Destiny even got on this show, there has been pillow talk. After Destiny films a scene, girl, let me tell you what done happened. Destiny is attempting to pull the wool over our eyes and pretend as if she is trying to come and penetrate this friend group and be a part of everything, and that she's not tainted by Mel, when it is beyond obvious that all of the reaching that you are doing and all of the attitude giving that you are giving is as a result of the things that have been put in your head via Mel. I'm finna skip ahead real quick. That whole situation at your beauty supply party that you ran back and told Mel that you just had this exchange with Tisha, and it's like you're creating a problem where there isn't one. It's like, because Mel has tainted you, or you not, I'm sorry, because Mel can't do that. Because you have allowed yourself to be tainted by Mel, you are purposely going out looking for a reason to have a problem with Tisha. You're looking for a reason. None of what transpired between you and Tisha was worthy of going back and being repeated or drawing conclusions like you are reaching. You gonna fuck around and get osteoporosis. You already pregnant and that baby is sucking the calcium out your bones. All that reaching you doing, you gonna fuck up what little calcium deposits and cartilage you have left. Your ass is gonna have brittle bones, arthritis, and osteoporosis with all of the reaching that you are doing. Like, what's throwing me is that I am trying my fucking hardest to like you. I really am. Quiet as it's kept. Let me break the fourth wall real quick. The publicist called me and asked me about interviewing Destiny, and I told him no. I said, I know that people don't like her. No, thank you. We don't like her. And she was like, she is a boss. And I believe it. And I smiled when I saw Destiny on the show tonight because I love her handling her business. There's just something about this woman I don't like. There's something, and it's funny because when she was talking her business stuff with Marsau, I was like, okay, I'm feeling her. She cuts to the chase. She's clear and concise. I love those qualities in people. It's something else about her. I can't quite put my finger on it. My brain is slowly coming around to it. I just don't like it. And I think I probably could do better. As I start to flesh this out, I could honestly just do better if you walked in the room and just said, I don't like you, Tisha and Kimmi. I'm not even going to try to like y'all. Mel, my friend, and I'm going to ride with my girl. It's like you're attempting to interact with them and still maintain this confused ass loyalty to Mel without being fair and honest and everything. It's like you come in expecting an angle, or you come in looking for trouble, and when you come in looking at a situation through a lens of shade, that's what you're going to see. Tisha, I wouldn't even bother at this point even trying to have anything with her. And quite honestly, y'all, I wouldn't even want to do business with somebody like this who is looking for a problem. You're not even being optimistic. You're not even looking at the glass half full. You're looking at it half empty. Everything that comes out of Tisha and Marcel's mouth, you're ready to scrutinize and run back and tell Mel. I think it's just an ugly ass quality to have in a grown person that say they're a businesswoman. I'm here to tell you, just because you have a business and you a woman don't make you a businesswoman. Because real people that's about their business don't have time for this immature shit. And then LeBaric also, listen, it's probably best you fry chicken, because based on the way you speak, you probably don't do good in anything that requires any level of academia or business sense. You just, well, you look like Opie, I was just telling Destiny based on the timeline, we probably supposed to tell the host. I'm just like, if I don't get this goofy ass nigga off my screen, like, bring Sadaric back. Like, the soft launch of Destiny's business was nice. Regardless of everything I just said previously, I can see through my personal feelings for somebody and give them credit when credit is due. And based with the publicist that I spoke to, she is doing her thing in the business space. Congratulations to Destiny in that regard. Yeah. Yeah, that stressed me out. It's weird, y'all, and I'm just gonna go ahead and tell y'all what I'm experiencing right now. My time with this reality TV stuff, y'all, is really getting ready to come to a close. So let me just put you on high alert. I just feel like God has put such a bigger purpose over my life, and having to just sit and delve in this type of stuff daily is starting to really take a toll on me, and it doesn't reflect where I'm ultimately trying to go in life. It's just really hard for me. I can't wrap my brain around a lot of it anymore, simply because I just don't. understand it. Like people in real life, at least in the bubble that I live in, don't carry on like that. I'm just not used to it. I don't want to accommodate it. I don't want to get familiar with it because I don't know adults like this. And I know that it's TV, and I know that there's a certain level of entertainment that has to go along with it, and yet you have to do the job, and I don't know. I just think I'm looking for a little more creativity out of our television and not just this predictable, tension. Like, what does that say about us as a society that we're just so easily entertained and tuned in by just the lowest common denominator of interaction? The fact that the more messy, brainless, and simplistic the interaction is, the more we as a society is entertained. That says a lot about us. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in talking about it that I'm part of the problem or part of the solution or a combination of both. But I am saying it's starting to weigh on me, and I'm getting to a point where I just don't want to occupy this space anymore. Ooh. And I know that's not what y'all call for. Let me get off the phone because clearly I'm going through something right now. I'll call y'all back. Bye.